more seasoned veteran, you can kind of say, it's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. And frankly, you'll still come across people, no matter what age you are, that may be rude or may not want to help or what have you. But now, instead of feeling insecure in those moments, I turn around and think, okay, well, I'm not the problem here. They are.
Hmm.
They are the ones who have a poor attitude, or they are the ones who
Hmm.
aren't doing this right.
So you don't have to take things personally, by the way.
E-
It's easier to
exactly.
take things personally. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And it says more about that person than it says about you. I didn't understand that as a kid. I thought
Mhm.
it said something about me, but
Right.
it doesn't.
Hmm. Absolutely not. Do you consider yourself someone who thinks outside the box and needing to live outside her comfort zone? And if so, why is this important? And do you ever worry that you might go too far outside your comfort zone?
What was the first part of that question, Leslie?
Is is it important for you to live outside the box? And do you ever worry that you might go too far outside your comfort zone?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think there's a saying, I'm going to butcher it, but everything worth everything exciting and worth it is kind of outside of your comfort zone. So I don't think so. And I think most people, and not most people, but a lot of people, and especially me, I tend to stay in my comfort zone. So even when I push through, it's not that far out.
Hmm. 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 Right.
Yeah.
And let's face it, you've gone far enough out to do films on wrongful convictions, which is, out of your comfort zone in the sense that you're probably visiting these inmates in jail and doing all sorts of things that for some people would be out of their comfort zone, but you find it meaningful and important for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that is, I would say, within my comfort zone because it is the cause that I really wanted to help and work on. So I felt right at home. And I'd done over the years, a lot of reading on different cases and laws and things. So that actually felt very much within my comfort zone.
And just to be clear, it's within your comfort zone because.
Because it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something I had done a lot of reading on and a lot of cases I had read about. So it felt right.
Mhm.
That was not an area where I felt like it was like I had imposter syndrome. It was more the filmmaking side of it,
Mhm. Mhm.
not so much the topic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we spoke about a few seconds ago, which was for the female entrepreneurs listening to us, it's really important to find that passion because that's what's going to give you the strength to move through a lot of situations that otherwise maybe feels out of your comfort zone, but you're really committed to it, so it's not.
Exactly.
Um, do you think has your upbringing made it harder or easier to master a mindset for success?
I really think it's made it significantly easier. I
Mm.
think that when you go through things like being bullied as a kid or not having friends or having to navigate that kind of upbringing, and especially as an immigrant in a place where you don't fit in, so you're just navigating so many different things, learning a new language and new foods and new people, and all of those things build so much character, I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for me, I felt like, while those years were not fun at all at the time, I look back all the time and I think, well, if I hadn't went through that, I wouldn't be this confident today. Or if I hadn't went through that, I wouldn't kind of feel this inner peace and know that no matter what situation comes my way, I can handle it. So I think there's been a lot of positives because of it.
Yeah, and it sort of says that when someone has hardship, one of the important things about lessening the blow for you is to see it as something that's giving you character, that's giving you back a background that you otherwise wouldn't have to be able to go forward with.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
Um, Tell me a little bit about how you grew up learning from your parents that it's important to help people in need. And you spoke about how that was one of the reasons why fashion at a certain point sort of became something that you weren't as, that wasn't as easy for you to work in as before.
Yeah, we grew up, I mean, East Indian culture is, we're just raised to always, always help other people, and anything you have to share and to give away. My mom is a perfect example of this. Like, anytime, if my mom's wearing a scarf and you say, I love that scarf, she'll just take it off and say, have it. That's how I grew up seeing that all of the time. And I have a huge family. My mom was 9 siblings, including her, and my dad had 6, including him. And so I saw, almost 15 sets of parents almost that did this all of the time. So I had all these role models where this was really ingrained in us. And so as I grew up, I grew up with always that in mind. And anything you can do to help other people, you should do. And maybe that's why when I read that book or when I listened to Serial, I felt like, whatever's in my realm to do, I should do.
And do you feel like you're helping the people that you're making the documentaries on? Is that part of the, personal reward for you?
Absolutely. Yes. My goal is, with my second documentary, to film somebody who is currently incarcerated so that I can help their case, or at least give them a voice. And I mean, in the perfect world, to help them be released. That is what I want to do. In the first one, I focused the film on Jeffrey Deskovic, who's already been exonerated, but he now runs an organization to help other people who've been wrongfully convicted. And he's voiced to me himself that it's really helped him and the cause, and to draw attention to the work he does. And that feels great,
And it goes in alignment with sort of your upbringing too, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is the proudest my mom has ever been of me.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Believe it or not, Jia, we are at the end of our time. I want to thank you so, so much for coming on today. It's been just great to listen to you and to have our listeners hear about your motivation for why you chose to become a female entrepreneur now, and also how you've overcome some of the real obstacles psychologically that you've faced over your life, but also in terms of your inspirational journey as an entrepreneur. Where can people reach out to you to learn more about your work?
Either on my website, which is just my full name, it's jiawertz.com, JIAWERTZ.com. And on Instagram, it's Jia Docs. That's JIADOCS, like short for documentaries. Those are probably the 2 best places.
Fantastic. Thank you again. And I'm so glad that we had you on today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Leslie. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This podcast is brought to you by Women Entrepreneurs Global, the first startup studio and digital DIY startup platform for women. For more information on her guests, this podcast, and many other female founder programs, please visit womenentrepreneurs.global. We believe in open and non-stigmatizing dialogue about the hidden psychological difficulties experienced by many successful entrepreneurs, and highlighting the strategies used to overcome them, such as the fear of failure, of not being good enough, and that loud, chattering internal critic is critical to helping other founders achieve success. Please join her next week for more Mindset for Success stories. That was Dr. Leslie Knudsen, and you can drop her a line at dr.leslieKnudsen@dr.leslieKnudsen.com.